Back in Minneapolis, Jim Kleinsaucer getting ready to play in his final NFL game. 13th season with the Vikings. The lone captain sent out for the coin toss by head coach Leslie Frazier.
And as an NFL player, very rarely do you get to lead this game on your own terms, and Jim Kleinsaucer is doing that this afternoon. A great career here for the Minnesota Vikings. You saw the respect from the Chicago Bears to Jim Kleinsaucer.
I'll tell you what, he had all his family down here on the field before the game. What a great day for him, man. I'd love to see him getting this in the end zone today, Darryl, for a nice score.
I know that Leslie Frazier's got plans, but he might let the cat out of the bag. He was a little bit too vocal about that during the week.
I think I think the Chicago Bears read the headlines too, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're spying him a little bit down there in the red zone.
The Vikings have won the toss and will receive. Robbie Gould gets things started here in Minneapolis. Taken 3 yards deep by Marcus Sherrills. He's out across the 25-yard line. So Christian Ponder, a rookie out of Florida State, makes his 10th NFL start.
And it has been a difficult season for the Minnesota Vikings, but we've seen this year that this is a quarterback-driven league, and the Minnesota Vikings went in the first round, got Christian Ponder in the draft last year. He started 10 games this year. He's been up and down. You expect that from a rookie, but I've been impressed with his play this season. They do have their quarterback of the future moving forward, and that is a big task to find out in the NFL today.
Vikings lost Adrian Peterson last week. Toby Gerhart, the lone back. Ponder on first down, and the catch is made by Percy Harvin, forced out of bounds after a gain of 9.
Well, another guy that I've been impressed with down the stretch has been Toby Gerhart, and he's going to get a lot more carries today. Unfortunately, Adrian Peterson lost for the season. And what Christian Ponder needs is some help on the outside from those guys. The offensive line, this will be a fun matchup this afternoon going against this tough Bears front seven.
Vikings also without perennial Pro Bowl left guard Steve Hutchinson. Penalty markers prior to the snap.
Offense number 64, 5-yard penalty, still second down.
The right guard, Anthony Herrera. Joe Webb has come in for the Vikings, and he is split out to the left.
Well, there was a lot of talk this week about Joe Webb and his performance coming in for Christian Ponder last week and leading them to a victory against the Redskins.
On 2nd and 6, the toss to Harvin. Out to the 31-yard line as we check out the Bears defensive unit.
Well, Lovie Smith not real happy with how this unit has played down the stretch. With the injuries on the offensive side of the ball, we have seen Chicago's defense step up and make some critical plays to keep them in football games, but they have not been able to do that this year. The pass rush hasn't been there. The secondary has been an issue today. Tim Jennings gets the start. Zachary Bowman was there last week, had a tough evening against the Green Bay Packers.
Ponder out of the shotgun, 3rd down and 4. Vikings must get to the 35-yard line for first down, as that pass could not be handled by the rookie out of Notre Dame, the tight end Kyle Rudolph.
And when you're in the middle of a season like the Minnesota Vikings are having, this is the type of way you start a game. You have the false start penalty. You have a pass here that's dropped by Kyle Rudolph, an opportunity for a catch and run and a first down. It's all the little things. It just seems like things just kind of get away, and it's been one of those years for the Minnesota Vikings.
So here's Chris Kluwe with Devin Hester back deep. Lovie Smith told us yesterday Devin is as healthy as he has been in a while. He has 4 career return touchdowns against the Minnesota Vikings. Kluwe punting from his own 20-yard line. Fair catch is called for by Hester at the 24, and flags are thrown as Everson Griffin obviously did not see or hear the fair catch signal.
You've got a defensive lineman out as your gunner, and you can see right there he's worried more about the block. You could see his eyes on Winston Venable. He was not looking at Devin Hester, so he never even saw the fair catch signal.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, running into the maker of a fair catch, number 97 on the kicking team. 15-yard penalty from the dead ball spot. First down.
And again, just the little things during the course of the season. And yeah, Everson Griffin is on the outside playing that gunner spot as a defensive lineman, but still, you've got to locate the returner to see if he signals that fair catch.
Amazing that he was out there, though, Darryl. I'll tell you what, he has some wheels, got some speed, got down the field. If I was Devin Hester, I'd be watching him.
He's second on the Vikings goose in special teams tackles this season. Josh McCown on first down, handing it off to Khalil Bell, crosses the 40. Gain of 2. Bell starting for the injured Matt Forte. Marion Barber out today as well.
And he had a nice game last week. Now, this group played well against the Green Bay Packers last weekend. It wasn't the fault of the offense. They moved the ball. They had a season high in total yards, ran the ball very effectively. And one of the positives in this season for the Bears, they really feel good about their offensive line. And this is without Chris Williams and Gabe Caridi for the majority of the season.
McCown starting his second game. Third starting quarterback for the Bears this season. Second down and 8 from the 41. As Earl Bennett makes the catch, takes it out to the 48-yard line. Ball came loose, but Bennett was ruled down after a gain of 7, setting up third down and 1.
Just get that ball quickly outside to Earl Bennett.
Looks like that ball was out.
It did. It looked like he lost possession before he was down, Goose.
Yeah, his knees, as you can see, didn't hit the ground. It was right on top of the other player. I got to challenge that.
They're getting a lot of time to make the decision, too, because the Bears are having trouble getting to the line. Finally got it out.
Leslie Frazier has thrown the red flag.
How about that? A critical situation where you want to get up to the line of scrimmage right away when you have that type of call.
Yeah, I'm really surprised.
And the Bears took a lot of time in that huddle, yeah.
McCown was about halfway to the sidelines, waiting for the play to be sent in.
The ruling on the field is the runner was down by contacts being challenged by Minnesota. Timeout.
So Mike Carey will take a look at it. We'll return to Minneapolis in a moment.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Welcome back. It appears to the three of us that Leslie Frazier will win this challenge.
And now remember, this is going to be a two-part challenge. Number one, you'll see the ball come loose on the hit by E.J. Henderson right there. But now there has to be a clear recovery. And LaTroy Guion comes in here and establishes the clear recovery. So they've got both parts. So this should be overturned to the Vikings.
If it is overturned, Vikings will have 1st and 10 at the 49-yard line of the Bears. If it is not, if the call stands, it will be 3rd and 1 for Chicago. Here is referee Mike Carey.
After review, the ball was loose before the runner was down, and there was a clear recovery. So it'll be Minnesota's ball, 1st and 10, Chicago Bear 49-yard line. On this hash mark, please put 12:31 on the game clock. 12:31 on the game clock, please. Minnesota will not be charged with a team timeout, and they have a successful challenge.
Good hustle by the Vikings defense right there. Number one, the hit by E.J. Henderson coming from his middle linebacker spot to knock it loose, and then LaTroy Guion completing that play by establishing the clear recovery.
Yeah, very much heads up there. If that ball's ever on the ground, pick it up. You never know what could happen.
The Vikings defense this season, 2nd in the league in fumble recoveries, now with 14. So a good job by Guion. So an early turnover committed by the Chicago Bears. 1st and 10 from the Bears 49 for Christian Ponder and the Vikings. Gerhardt in the backfield takes the handoff from Ponder, and Toby Gerhardt has a 1st down and more. He is finally tackled at the Chicago 26 after a gain of 23 yards.
He's got some sneaky speed. They had a long run last week against the Washington Redskins, and he says it's his long stride. Just keep a watch on his stride. It doesn't look like he's moving real quick, but he always seems to be running away from people. And the other thing is his finishing of his runs. He does as good a job as anybody of keeping his shoulders square down the field. He breaks a lot of tackles and always seems to fall forward.
67-yard run last week against Washington. It's Gerhardt again, and this time he is bottled up by Brian Urlacher, who is heading to his 8th Pro Bowl.
It's amazing to see the career that Brian Urlacher has had, and it's not consecutive Pro Bowls either, which is impressive to me. He's come back from some difficult injuries, from down seasons, and to have that Pro Bowl at this stage of his career, playing at a very high level. Impressive career for Brian Urlacher.
One of 5 Bears heading to the Pro Bowl, most among non-playoff teams. On 2nd and 10, it's Gerhardt again. And this time he gains 3 down to the 22-yard line. Israel Adonijah made the tackle. 3rd down and 7 coming up for the Vikings.
You come to a team and they have Adrian Peterson as their running back. You don't get a whole lot of chances. Not a lot of people get to see Toby Gerhardt, but we see today how important it is to have that quality backup. And he has done an excellent job coming in spot play when Adrian was healthy, and then last week coming in after he got hurt and having a really nice afternoon.
3rd down and 7. Ponder from the shotgun throws, and a diving catch is made for a 1st down by Harvin. His 2nd catch today, gain of 11.
Christian Ponder never moved his feet. He got the snap. Watch him here at the bottom of your screen. Just steps a little bit back, and Percy Harvin, nice job on a little slant. He feeds that one right in. You're all right, Darryl. I like the way Ponder throws the ball.
You watch him, Goose, and he went through what a lot of people said was a little bit of a slump late November, early December, but when you watch the film, it's really not Christian. It's just the guys around him. They were just out of sync offensively. I thought he's played well for a rookie quarterback this season.
Here's the 10 from the 11. Here is Gerhardt, and he's dragged down by the combination of Charles Tillman and Henry Melton. No gain on the play.
Now, when you play the Chicago Bears, the one thing that we've always seen from this Bear team over the years is they all run to the ball, especially down here in the red zone. I mean, yet all 11 players around the ball, good things happen. You get a team that runs like that.
Lorenzo Booker replaces Gerhardt. 2nd and 10. Ponder to the end zone. Harvin, the intended receiver, DJ Moore on the coverage, no flags.
I think this is a good call, working out of the slot. Percy Harvin, watch the coverage by DJ Moore. He's there now. They're aggressive back there in the end, but he's got as much right to that spot as Percy Harvin does. So I like the no call by the officials right there.
And Moore was looking up for the ball. So now 3rd and 10 for the Vikings, looking to capitalize on the Bears turnover. 4 receivers set. Gerhardt the lone back. Ponder on 3rd down, the screen to Gerhardt. And Gerhardt is tackled just shy of the 6-yard line, so the Vikings will send out the field goal unit.
We talked about it before. The pursuit of that Bears defense, that screen is not a good play, especially down here in that red zone.
Yeah, you know, I think it's Lance Briggs too, Tony, because it actually looks like it's set up well. Watch Christian Ponder, just that little hesitation there and that extra time he creates. Lance Briggs is out there kind of all by himself until he gets a little bit of help, but he played that as well as you could play a screen.
So here's Ryan Longwell, 26-yard attempt from the right hash. His kick is good, so the Vikings take a 3-0 lead on the Bears 6 minutes in here in Minneapolis.
Today's game is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Vikings leading the Bears 3-0. Vikings drive 8 plays, 41 yards. Following the forced fumble by E.J. Henderson, recovered by LaTroy Guion. There's Earl Bennett. Had the ball knocked loose. Bears commit the early turnover. Longwell's kickoff taken 4 yards deep, and Hester will bring it out. And he will be tackled. Ball is loose, and he's ruled down at the 2. There is a flag.
I tell you what, Everson Griffin is a beast on special teams. I mean, for a guy that size to be out playing the gunner, now on kickoff coverage, and that's Tyler Klutz, who's slow getting up, and I think it's because he had the responsibility of blocking Everson Griffin.
Offside on the kickoff. Kicking team number 97, a 5-yard penalty will re-kick after the assessment.
All right, Now here's one of these plays that's not going to show up in a box score, but you've just tackled Devin Hester inside the 5-yard line on a kickoff. Tyler Klutz, he had a big collision with Everson Griffin on that kickoff return. But now we're going to put it back 5 yards from the 25 and kick it. And we'll see what the change in field position is for the Chicago Bears, but that's a 5-yard penalty that could come back and hurt the Minnesota Vikings much more than that.
It was Griffin who was ruled offside on the kick. His second penalty on special teams.
Tyler Klutz is the man responsible for blocking Everson Griffin. And that is a big man coming down the field full speed. Now you can't turn a guy that size all the way to the wedge or the back end of your kickoff return. You've got to have somebody in that front line during the course of your special teams preparation to slow him down at some point. That's a lot to ask of your guy in the back row to block a defensive lineman coming down the field full speed on kickoff coverage. Somebody's got to slow him down up front and help out those guys in the back.
I wouldn't want to be 30 yards downfield with him running full speed at me, I'll tell you that.
I tell you what, if I'm watching him on film during the week, Goose, I'm going to bring somebody across the field and just crack him.
Yeah.
One of the first ones, just to get him thinking and slowing him down a little bit.
And even if he just sees that guy like he did earlier, he took his eyes, off the returner and looked inside, and that's why he hit him when he had the fair catch signal.
So Hester decided to take it out. He was ruled down at the 2-yard line due to forward progress before the ball came loose, but it was all erased by the offside penalty on Everson Griffin. So Longwell will kick off from the 30. And this time Hester will field it at the 7. Out to the 22, so a 20-yard differential. So better field position for the Bears. Some extracurricular activity. Vikings lead 3-0.
Today's game is sponsored by Sprint. All football, no limits, only from Sprint. By Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at your local Jaguar dealership. And by Pizza Hut. Right now, get any pizza for just $10, only at your Pizza Hut.
On Friday, it's one of the most anticipated bowl games of the season as 8th-ranked Kansas State takes on number 6 Arkansas in the only Big 12 SEC showdown. Our exclusive coverage of the 76th Cotton Bowl Classic live from Cowboy Stadium begins Friday at 8 Eastern. McCown with loads of time, and then he throws it out of bounds.
One of the things that you noticed about Josh McCown when he played the Packers last weekend was his poise in the pocket, and you can see it right there. I mean, for a guy who's been removed from the game at the NFL level for a while and just kind of steps into it and gets caught back up to speed, but still in that pocket has that awareness, has that poise and that presence is pretty impressive in my opinion, especially when you got this guy chasing you around running on the field.
Jared Allen with 18.5 sacks. McCown last week starting in the NFL for the first time since 2007 as Khalil Bell is wrapped up after a gain of 3 by E.J. Henderson.
Well, Jared Allen, you heard Tony at the top, an opportunity to tie a franchise or break a franchise record held by Chris Dolman, and then in pursuit of Michael Strahan's NFL record. Always been a tough front 7 here with the Minnesota Vikings, but they've had some issues here in the secondary, and when you lose a guy like Antoine Winfield, it really hurts your defense, and he's been in and out of the lineup now for the last couple of seasons, really hurt their pass defense.
McCown on 3rd and 6, throws, and it's broken up. Pass intended for Dane Sanzenbacher. Jamarcus Sanford got a piece of it.
Josh McCown got away with one right there, right in the middle of the field. Jamarcus Sanford plays it great. Dane Sanzenbacher working out of the slot. They turn him into the middle of the field, but look at the position. Why Jamarcus Sanford, great break on the ball, just didn't complete it. Should have had an interception there.
Vikings last week with their first interception in the last 10 games. They went an NFL record 9 games without a pick. Adam Publish punting for the first time, nearly blocked. And a fair catch is called for back at the 25-yard line by Sherrills. Pressure on Podlesh from Emmanuel Arsenault. Chicago Bears trainer Tim Bream working on the shoulder of Tyler Klutz, injured moments ago. Vikings start from the 25 off the fake to Gerhardt. short, intended for Percy Harvin.
Not an opportunity to catch and run with this ball down in the turf. Christian Ponder does a nice job, gets out, gets his shoulder square, but it's just down low. It's Percy Harvin's moving away.
So 2nd and 10 upcoming for the Vikings. Christian Ponder made his NFL debut against the Chicago Bears at Soldier Field back on October 16th. A game won by the Bears 39-10. Bears have won the last 4 in this series. On 2nd and 10, it's Gerhardt. And Gerhardt picks up a Vikings first down, gain of 10.
That's a nifty feat right there, because the Bears are really good at gap responsibilities, and that looked like there was nothing there for Toby Gerhardt. Find him here, just sliding down the line. Good job by the Vikings offensive linemen staying with their blocks in that situation. Like to see offensive linemen when they're keeping their feet. Minnesota does a nice job with that. You don't see them on the ground very often.
Jim Kleinsaucer is in, playing in his 181st and final NFL game for the Vikings. From the 35, off the play fake, Ponder moving to his right. He throws, and the catch is made by Kyle Rudolph. Craig Stelz makes the tackle, a gain of 5.
Jim Kleinsaucer, number 40, going up against Israel Adonijah.
That's a pretty nice block. I think he's got a couple more years left in him, Darryl.
I tell you what, just listening to Jared Allen talk about him, and here's a guy that, played against him when he was in Kansas City and has to practice against him here. I mean, he had rave reviews about Jim Kleinsaucer.
Webb out of the shotgun. Ponder, bottom of the screen, split out to the left. And Webb with nowhere to go, met first by Adonijah, and then Brian Urlacher, loss of 4 yards.
One thing that if you look at the Minnesota Vikings offense, they haven't stretched the field at all. Everything is within 5 yards. Right here, they sell a bunch down here at the bottom of your screen, but none of the Chicago Bears defensive linemen are buying it. I mean, they're playing the quarterback 100% on that, and that's exactly what happened right there to Joe Webb.
And they're going to be prepared for that package. They played Denver a few weeks ago, and I'm sure they got extensive practice with the option and read-keep style of quarterback play getting ready for Tim Tebow. So Joe Webb's going to have his hands full this afternoon.
Ponder out of the shotgun, 3rd down and 9. Ponder under pressure. Down he goes, back at the 33-yard line. Brian Urlacher along with Israel Adonijah.
That's one of the things that's been missing from Chicago during the course of the season. Very inconsistent with their pass rush. And for this defense to play at the high level that we've seen them play at, they have to be able to get pressure, especially with their down 4. And probably one of the biggest reasons they came up short against Green Bay last week. They weren't able to get to Aaron Rodgers with a banged-up Packers offensive line.
5th sack for Adonijah. Fair catch back to the 14-yard line. Devin Hester. Jared Allen, 18.5 sacks this season, 2.5 shy of the franchise record. Jared Allen getting the crowd fired up. Coming into this weekend, a half sack ahead of the Eagles' Jason Babin and the Cowboys' DeMarcus Ware, both with 18 sacks. As Khalil Bell gains 2 out to the 16-yard line. E.J. Henderson made the tackle.
When you get ready to play the Minnesota Vikings, you have got to account for Jared Allen. And you look at the list right here. This is a very impressive list. Chris Dolman, the franchise leader in sacks in the season. But look at Keith Ballard, John Randall. And those are some good defensive linemen that Jared Allen is sharing company with.
Second and 8, here's Bell. Ball comes loose right into the arms of Sanford. The second Chicago turnover, Jamarcus Sanford, the recovery.
The one critique you can have on Khalil Bell last week against the Packers, and he said this himself, people talked about how well he played, but he was not happy. He put the ball on the ground twice, and here he is again the following week, putting it on the ground again.
I mean, he had the ball way out away from his body. And when you're going down, you got to hug that ball. Watch it right here in his left hand. Look at that ball, how far away from his body it is. He tries to grab it and just pops straight up. Doesn't hit the ground, doesn't hit a player, just popped right out of his hand.
And again, it was E.J. Henderson who forced the first fumble by Bennett, who made the tackle. And then the ball popped loose to Sanford. So the Vikings from the Bears' 18-yard line. On the toss, it's Percy Harvin. And Harvin picks up a Minnesota first down. He gains 13 with Jim Kleinsaucer throwing a key block.
It's been fun to watch the Minnesota Vikings use Percy Harvin in a number of different ways. There's a little underneath, end around. Jim Kleinsaucer out front with the block on Julius Peppers, but they use Percy Harvin in so many different ways. You'll see him lined up in the backfield. Here he is on that little end around right here. And I tell you, he's been a one-man wrecking crew on the outside at the wide receiver position for the Vikings. He's been very, very strong the second half of the season.
Harvin in the backfield. Camarillo in motion. First and goal from the 5. Under pressure from Adonijay. Throws it through the end zone.
Israel Adonijay does a nice job of coming upfield. Christian Ponder, nowhere to go with that ball. I mean, I think his body just blocked the whole end zone right there.
You can bet the Bears defense is going to locate number 40 if he's out on the field in these situations. He's not out there right now.
Again, it's Harvin in the backfield, second and goal from the Bears' 5-yard line. A handoff to Harvin. He takes it up the middle into the end zone for a Vikings touchdown.
He does a lot for this Vikings offense, lines up in a number of different positions here. He's dotting the I from the running back spot, and I tell you what, Goose, he's a tough little guy. I mean, he finishes runs very physically.
He really does. His legs are underneath him, but I'll tell you what, I was really surprised at Chicago's defense on that last play. Communication, they were not lined up where they were supposed to be, and that's exactly what happened. You're going to see a touchdown right up the gut.
Harvin's second rushing touchdown this season, third of his career. Vikings have scored all 10 of their points off Bears turnovers. Vikings lead the Bears 10-0 this February. NASCAR's best will converge at Daytona International Speedway for NASCAR's biggest race. Defending Sprint Cup Series champion Tony Stewart and rookie Danica Patrick highlight a full field of drivers looking to take home auto racing's ultimate prize. Fox Sports is proud to bring you exclusive coverage of the Great American Race, the 54th running of the Daytona 500 on February 26th. It took the Vikings only 3 plays after the second Bears turnover of this first quarter. Harvin into the end zone. Minnesota leading 10-0. Hester on the return for Chicago. And Hester is forced back and then thrown out of bounds at the 9-yard line by Eric Frampton.
Some really good special teams play right now from the Minnesota Vikings to start this game. They have been excellent with their coverage. Devin Hester's got something to prove. You know, he was a little bit miffed at the fact that he's only an alternate for the Pro Bowl. Now, Patrick Peterson has had an outstanding season for the Arizona Cardinals, but you're going to get your best effort from this guy right here. He came into this game with something to prove that he's still the best return man in the NFL.
Patrick Peterson, the rookie out of LSU, with 4 return touchdowns this season. Hester, the all-time leader. So the Bears go to work from their own 10-yard line as McCown fires, and it is nearly picked off. Earl Bennett actually knocked the ball away with a hard hit on Jamarcus Sanford.
We got pressure right in Josh McCown's face. That actually impacts this throw. He's not able to complete his throwing motion.
Troy Guion with the pressure, and then Sanford thought he had it prior to the hit by Bennett.
Heads-up play by Earl Bennett. In that situation, you become the defender. You cannot allow the defense to generate another turnover.
Tyler Clutch back in the game. Injured his shoulder earlier. On 2nd and 10. McCown's pass is caught, taken out to the 12-yard line by Bell. We'll check in on the Rams and the 49ers with Kurt Menefee. Kurt?
Yeah, the Niners need to win to assure themselves into the number 2 seed in the first round bye. Alex Smith gets back up and takes care of business. Runs it in from 8 yards out. They needed that touchdown. They were down before that, but now it's all tied at 7. as we start the second quarter. Kenny Moose and Goose.
Thanks, Kurt. 49ers will clinch the number 2 seed on a first-round bye with a win over the Rams or a Saints loss. New Orleans leading Carolina 14-7 after one quarter. McCown on 3rd and 9, spins away from the pressure and will pick up a first down with his feet. Josh McCown finally down at the 39-yard line. Chad Greenway chased him down as McCown picks up 28 yards.
Again, here's that poise in the pocket from Josh McCown. Jared Allen is going to collapse it from the outside, but he's going to hang in there. Look at him, nice poise. Now he's going to slide shift. Okay, this is gone. Wow, look at all the green space out here. And again, it's Earl Bennett. We saw the play he made earlier to break up the interception. There's his block down the field that's going to let Josh McCown get probably about 15 more yards.
A career-long 28-yard run by McCown, making his 32nd NFL start. New set of downs from the 39. McCown in trouble. Ball comes loose. Jared Allen knocked it free, and then Matt Spaeth on the recovery.
Well, they had a good blitz called on this. Coming off the right side to force him back to Jared Allen, who's coming in from the left side. Jared Allen actually the one who gets there to knock it loose.
Now second down and 13. McCown fires wide open. Dane Sanzenbacher in Vikings territory picks up a Bears first down, a gain of 22.
Again, he's just showing a lot of poise in the pocket. He's hanging in there to make these throws. Ryan Robinson with the spin move right there gets to him late, but very impressed with Josh McCown in the pocket. Good job by Dane Sanzenbacher finding that soft spot, gearing it down a little bit, and that hole in the Vikings secondary.
Official scorers have reviewed the previous play. Allen credited with a half sack, shares it with Aaron Henderson. So Allen now with 19 sacks on the season as Khalil Bell picks up a Chicago first down to the 26-yard line.
This is something you just takes a while, in my opinion, to get used to seeing, is when teams have been running the football effectively against the Minnesota Vikings. They really miss Pat Williams, who was in the middle of that defensive line for a number of years. That haven't been able to fill that hole yet. But boy, Minnesota was always just so stout against the run.
So Jared Allen now too shy of matching the franchise record, 3.5 behind Michael Strahan's NFL mark. First quarter comes to an end in Minneapolis. Vikings lead 10-0. Vikings lead the Bears 10-0. First play of the second quarter here in Minneapolis. From the 27-yard line, McCown hands it off to Bell. And Khalil Bell gains 5 down to the 22 as we check out the first quarter numbers.
Obviously, the big story in that first quarter, the turnovers by the Chicago Bears. Lucky they didn't have a third. Minnesota taking advantage of those to get those 10 points. Usually it's the other way for a Lovie Smith coach team. Usually they're the ones that are generating the turnovers.
We're over the first 10 weeks this season, but down in the opposite direction since, coinciding with the loss of Jay Cutler. To the end zone, McCown hits Roy Williams for a Bears touchdown.
Well, these have been issues for this Minnesota Viking team in the secondary, and it looks like they just got kind of locked on the quarterback's eyes. You know, he looked out to the flat, but boy, Mr. Raymond, I don't know how you can let somebody just run right by you down here when you get close to the red zone. But I think he was looking at Josh McCown and got caught up and was going to jump that flat route. Let your guys do their job. You do your job. If not, you end up with a blown coverage like we had there.
Robbie Gould, the extra point for Roy Williams, his first touchdown as a Bear in North America. His other score this season came in London.
Today's game is sponsored by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. And by Verizon, the exclusive carrier of Galaxy Nexus by Samsung.
Bears cut the Vikings lead to 3. 22-yard touchdown pass from Josh McCown to Roy Williams as the Bears drive 90 yards. Gerald takes a knee. Vikings will start at the 20. Coming up following the Bears and the Vikings, it's game 2 of our Fox doubleheader. Many of you will see the Buccaneers and the playoff-bound Falcons, or the Seahawks and the Cardinals. That's coming up after the Vikings and the Bears right here on Fox. Atlanta, a wild card, but they hope to finish as high as 5th, depending on the outcome of their game, and the Packers and the Lions. Right now it's Lions the number 5 spot and the Falcons at 6. 3 wide receivers set for the Vikings on first down. The handoff to Gerhardt, and he is hit 5 yards deep in the backfield by Israel Idonije.
Well, he's had a nice start to this game, Tony. He has been in the backfield quite a bit.
Yeah, nice job with penetration. Penetration will kill this. See how it's a flat run right here? Israel Idonije does a nice job of penetrating in the backfield. If he doesn't make that tackle, he forces the running back to choose the gap he's going to run in really quick. It makes it easier for his linebackers to go and identify the runner and make the tackle also.
On 2nd and 15 off the play fake. Pass deflected off the hands of Gerhardt, and then intercepted by Charles Tillman, and he takes it back for a Bears touchdown.
Well, in the paper tomorrow, you're going to read an interception by Christian Ponder that leads to a touchdown for Charles Tillman, but this is on Toby Gerhardt. He's got to make this catch.
That's what happens when you don't stretch the field and all your defenders in one area clogged up. You get a tip ball like this, and somebody's right there to pick it off and bring it back for a pick 6.
That was a nice play fake. They should have had somebody open down the field. It's on the back shoulder of Toby Gerhardt, but he's got to make this catch. And there's something we haven't seen from this Bears defense since back against that Detroit game over a month ago.
Charles Tillman is there. Nick Roach is right there to get the interception instead.
Goal, the extra point. Tillman's 2nd touchdown this season, 6th of his career. The Bears score 14 points in 42 seconds. Charles Tillman heading to his first Pro Bowl, 6th career touchdown after the pass from Ponder deflected off the hands of Toby Gerhardt.
I think Brian Urlacher was happier for Charles Tillman going to the Pro Bowl than he was for himself going.
Tillman going for the first time. Sherrill's on the return. Forced out at the 25. Well, Wednesday, January 18th, TV's biggest phenomenon, American Idol returns for an all-new season, and the talent is ready to shine. Join Randy, Jennifer, Stephen, and Ryan, and welcome back America's #1 show, American Idol. The 2-night premiere begins Wednesday, January 18th, right here on Fox. For the Bears, their 6th defensive touchdown this season and their 10th return touchdown, which leads the league. Chicago now up by 4 as Ponder throws. Oh, man. That pass intended for Joe Webb with both quarterbacks on the field.
Hurt, man. Yeah. Israel Idonije came scot-free, 100 miles an hour. Ponder tried to stay in there, and not good.
Remember, he took a couple of hard hits last week from Reed Dowdy and London Fletcher. Suffered the concussion, and now hit hard by Idonije.
Right on the hip.
Yeah.
Wow, you see, as soon as he gets up, puts some weight on that. I tell you, he's a tough kid. We sat down and talked to him on Friday. He's beat up. He's got scrapes and bruises and cuts all over. Well, this is one of the things that a lot of people talked about. Now, Joe Webb, when he has come in and played quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings, has been very successful leading drives, almost brought them back from 17 down against Detroit. Actually led the comeback last week against the Redskins when Christian Ponder went out with the concussion.
Well, you got to defend against another element with him running the ball. It's almost having a running back in the backfield. So it's a little bit different how the Bears are going to have to play Webb rather than Ponder.
So Joe Webb, who started 2 games last year, in for Ponder, hands it off to Gerhardt.
This is 2 weeks in a row that Christian Ponder has gotten hit. Here's last week against the Washington Redskins.
I'm surprised London Fletcher didn't get flagged on this one.
Yeah, he got bent back. See, he took a beat right there. And then today against Israel Adonijah.
And Reed Dowdy was fined $15,000 for his hit on Ponder last week. Third down and 9. Vikings must get to the 35-yard line. The catch is made by Harvin, and he's tackled by Corey Graham, who's heading to the Pro Bowl as a special team star. Gain of just 5. Vikings forced to punt as the medical staff continues to work on Christian Ponder.
Leslie Frazier really wanted to have the opportunity to finish this year out with Christian Ponder at quarterback. And we all remember we had the lockout this year. You missed some valuable time as a young quarterback in the system. So as people talked about what was going to happen with he and Joe Webb, you know, Coach Frazier was insistent on, you know, this is Christian's job right now, and we need to learn about what he can do.
Punt by Cluey, angled out of bounds. They keep it out of the hands of Devin Hester. One more look at the hit on Ponder by Idonije, with the Bears leading 14-10.
Team is sponsored by Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers.
Welcome back. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa. Bears leading the Vikings 14-10. Earl Bennett in motion. Bears start from their own 21-yard line. This is Armando Allen, the rookie running back out of Notre Dame. We mentioned Bears have lost Matt Forte as well as Marion Barber, so Allen backing up Bell. There is Ponder being driven back to the Vikings locker room with a hip injury. His return listed as questionable.
Israel Adonijah, he's just off to a heck of a start in this game today, playing very, very well, doing his responsibility.
Jared Allen with a half sack earlier, now 19 on the season. On the sidelines, second down and 9 for Chicago. McCown was in trouble, able to get rid of it, and it deflects off the hands of Roy Williams.
Josh McCown, man, he's lucky he got that ball off. Brian Robinson, watch him come off the top side here. If he reaches out, he might be able to grab the ball right off his arm. He just comes unblocked out, huh?
They shows the blitz inside. I wonder if they squeezed the protection down inside, thinking the blitz was coming.
Garrett Allen back in on 3rd and long. And McCown will call timeout with the play clock winding down.
Chicago. That's their first 30-second timeout.
So early second quarter here in Minneapolis with the Bears leading 14-10. Turnovers the story early. Bears committed 2 in the first quarter, leading to all 10 Viking points, and then Chicago capitalized on an interception, a touchdown scored by Tillman here in the second quarter.
But one of the things that's been missing from this Bears defense is generating those takeaways. They got the points today with the interception and the return by Charles Tillman, and you know, we talked to Brian Urlacher, you know, why haven't you guys been able to kind of play at the level we're used to seeing? He goes, listen, we're all about takeaways, and that's what kind of feeds our team, and they haven't been able to do that over the last, 5 games. So this afternoon they got one back after their offense had had 2 early on, but really, we talk about turnovers being a big part of the game. The other side right now for the Minnesota Vikings, the injury to Christian Ponder, that is definitely a turning point. We've seen what it does to a team. With the Chicago Bears sitting at 7-3, Jay Cutler breaks his thumb, and their whole season just unravels.
The Bears have lost their last 5, 0-4 with Caleb Haney. Here comes Allen. McCown spun away initially, and then he is sacked by Chad Greenway.
Jared Allen, he could go back and count up 4 sacks that he's missed this year alone. He said, not when I could have got there. I've actually had the guy in my hands. Well, here's another one right there. If you could just turn that angle a little bit sharper, he might have had a sack there to get him to a sack and a half this afternoon.
Yeah, all you got to do is dip that shoulder and turn that corner like you said, Darryl.
Instead, it's his teammate Greenway, his second sack this year. Adam Podles waiting back at the 5-yard line. Their count's called for at the 45 by Sherrill, so Vikings with terrific field position, only a 37-yard punt.
Well, the Minnesota Vikings taking advantage of a couple of miscues by the Bears in the first quarter. Percy Harvin with a touchdown run, also a field goal off of Bears turnovers. And then the Chicago Bears get the pass to Roy Williams, and then the interception and the return by Charles Tillman. 14 points in how many seconds, Kenny? 42?
Yes, 42 seconds. Bears come back from a 10-0 deficit, take a 4-point lead. Joe Webb and the Vikings go to work from their own 45. The toss to Gerhardt, and he's chased down by Urlacher, and then Lance Briggs heading to his 7th Pro Bowl, finishes off Toby Gerhardt. Loss of 1 on the play, with Joe Webb in at quarterback for the injured Christian Ponder. And when we spoke to Lovie Smith yesterday, he told us, I'm a big fan of Joe Webb. I think he can be a starter in this league.
Yeah, and that was some of the talk here because of how well he's performed when he's had his limited opportunities this season. But this is not what Leslie Frazier wanted to do. When he said we need to take a long, hard look at Joe Webb and how he plays the position, this is not what he had in mind.
Webb's pass is caught by Harvin, takes it into Bears territory. Webb in his 2nd season out of Alabama Birmingham, a 6th-round pick in 2010. Started 2 games after the injury suffered by Brett Favre last season.
And there you see what he's done with his opportunities this year. Over 50% of his possessions have ended in touchdowns, and Lovie Smith spoke very highly of him. But I really feel Joe Webb could really help this Vikings team. He's really become an excellent receiver on the outside, and then he's in the huddle, and all of a sudden he jumps in at quarterback, and you have this athleticism playing the position. And this is what he did to the Redskins last week. I mean, he was excellent when protection broke down.
It slows down your pass rush. You have to stay in your lanes as a defensive lineman. Watch Joe Webb right here. See the inside guys spinning. They leave a wide open lane right there, and he's just going to take it.
Well, we've seen, so many different guys coming into the league as of late with this ability at quarterback. Obviously, Cam Newton had a great year. Tim Tebow on the run that he was on out in Denver. And Lovie says, there could be a shift in what we're looking for at quarterback, because you have to account for him now as a defense. You can't, it's not 11 against 10 anymore. You've got to account for that quarterback in the run game.
And the Bears know as well as anyone how important it is to have that solidified backup quarterback position. Lovie told us we thought Caleb Haney would play better, and we will look hard at that backup quarterback spot. McCown with a chance to perhaps win that number 2 spot heading into next season.
He called it a luxury for Leslie Frazier to have the situation that he has here in Minnesota, where they have committed to Christian Ponder with a 1st-round draft pick, but then have a guy like Joe Webb on your roster that could be your number 2.
2nd down and 11 as Webb sets, throws, and it's a 1st down. Harvin, who's had a big first half, game 16. Time to check in on the Bills and the Patriots with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Well, the Patriots trail 21-0 at home to Buffalo, but the comeback is on. Aaron Hernandez and Tom Brady, 39-yard touchdown reception. Is 21-14. Kenny Moose and Deuce. The Patriots win. They're the number 1 seed regardless of what happens elsewhere.
That's right, Kurt, and they would also be the number 1 seed if they lose, if both the Ravens and Steelers lose their games later today. From the 27 on 1st down, it's Gerhardt. And Gerhardt gains 3. Down to the 24-yard line. Gerhardt starting for Adrian Peterson, who underwent successful surgery on Friday in Alabama. Gerhardt, terrific college career at Stanford.
Great to have that number 2. We talked about having quality backups behind you, and all you have to do is look at the Chicago Bears and see what has happened to that team with injuries to their quarterback in Jay Cutler, Matt Forte going out, Johnny Knox. Toby Gerhardt is a great guy to have.
2nd and 7. And that is Percy Harvin's 6th reception in this first half. Shoved out of bounds by Tim Jennings after a gain of 4. Harvin came into the game 8th in the NFL, now has 83 catches this season. Vikings now facing a 3rd down and 4. Joe Webb has completed his first 4 pass attempts. Vikings empty the backfield on 3rd down. They must get to the 17. Webb looked to spin away. Still on his feet and finally goes down after the last tackle attempt by Tillman. So a loss of 10 on the play.
Well, here's the athleticism that Joe Webb brings to this position. I mean, he should have been tackled 3 or 4 times. I mean, great run support by Corey Graham there. Turns him back to the inside to Chauncey Davis. And look at the Bears, the hustle to the ball. He almost pulls out of this.
It's like the Bears just unlocked.
Well, Ryan Longwell from 48, and it looked like it was Julius Peppers who got a hand on it. His 11th career block kick. There's Peppers, number 90. Julius Peppers, the former basketball player at the University of North Carolina, getting his hands up, his 11th career block kick, and the Bears will take over at their own 38-yard line with Armando Allen in the backfield, takes the handoff from McCown and loses a yard.
Not just a big body inside, but great timing by Julius Peppers. You have to fight through the block, drive through, get penetration, and then time the jump. And that's about as well as you can do it.
Peppers not selected to the Pro Bowl this season. He's gone 6 times. Getting the hand on the field goal attempt by Longwell. 2nd down and 11. McCown, quick release pass intended for Allen. Incomplete, so the Bears now facing a 3rd down and long, leading the Vikings by 4.
Had to get rid of that one quick before the receiver was ready for it.
Mike Martz, the offensive coordinator. He and McCown were together in Detroit. McCown's story has been well documented. He's been with 7 NFL teams and camped with the 49ers this year. He was coaching high school football in North Carolina when the Bears called. Here comes Jared Allen, and down goes McCown. That's a sack and a half for Allen today, and he reaches 20 for the season.
It's funny talking to him. He's not shy about it. He wants the franchise record here in Minnesota. He wants the NFL record. But he came into the season, you know, what I really want is just 17. I want to get to 100 for my career. And he has had an outstanding season.
Those guys up in the middle really helping Jared Allen out. Getting a nice push. So McCown cannot step up in the pocket.
Chris Dolman, who holds the franchise record for sacks here in Minnesota. What a great player he was.
Fellow Pitt Panther.
So Jared Allen becomes the 8th player to hit 20 sacks in a season since sacks were officially recorded, starting with the 1982 season. So a sack and a half today, now 20, and he is just 1 shy of matching Chris Dolman's mark. Well, after a grueling 17-week season, the playoffs begin next weekend with the NFC Wild Card round. Fox's coverage of the postseason begins with the NFC Wild Card next Sunday.
You talked about Atlanta and Detroit locked in at the wild card spot and them playing for seeds right now. I tell you what, if everything stands the way it is right now, San Francisco is leading 17-7. If they secure number 2 and the Saints become your 3 seed, I think everybody's trying to get off that trip down to New Orleans on wild card weekend. You don't want to face the Saints right now.
Julius Peppers unable to bring down Webb. And then Webb fires Bears, and the catch is made for a first down by the former Bear, Devin Aromashadu. Peppers had Webb in his grasp. Julius Peppers with 99 career sacks. That would have been 100, but Webb able to get away.
I think Julius Peppers has to be shocked that he didn't go down. He's so strong. They just broke out of the grass right there. Good adjustment by Devin Aromashadu here. Sees his quarterback in trouble, get down the field, find that line of sight to get into an open space.
Gain of 19 for Aromashadu, and now Gerhardt gains 3. Out to the 43-yard line, Charles Tillman made the tackle.
I'll tell you what, looking at the replay right here, watch and see if his foot hits the out of bounds. No, it's close. I thought he was closer than that. He's got to readjust him.
Aromashadu spent 2 seasons with the Bears. In fact, back in 09 with Chicago, scored a touchdown in overtime to beat the Minnesota Vikings. Second down and 7. Under 3 minutes remaining, second quarter. Off the play fake to Gerhardt. Webb throws. The catch is made. It's Aromashadu again in Bears territory for another Vikings first down. 19-yard pickup.
Nice job by Joe Webb throwing across his body. Sprints out to the right. Watch him here. Little fake. Sprints out, looks downfield. His eyes are always downfield. And on the run. That is not an easy throw right there.
Webb in for the injured Ponder is now 6 for 6 for 72 yards. From the 38, play action, a pump fake. Webb moving to his right and then throws it away. He had Henry melted in his face. So the clock stops with 2:08 remaining first half.
Well, that's a smart decision right there by a guy who doesn't get a lot of opportunities to play quarterback, to know, hey, don't take the negative play. You know, just throw that ball beyond the line of scrimmage once you get outside of that pocket. There's a lot of rules in this game to protect the quarterback, and if you use them to your advantage, you see so many times guys lose unnecessary yardage or put them in difficult situations. Smart play by Joe Webb.
His first incomplete pass, now second and 10. With Harvin in the backfield, off the fake to Harvin. Webb, Harvin, first down Vikings. Nice soft touch by Joe Webb. And Harvin gains 21 as we hit the 2-minute warning in Minneapolis. Webb now 7 for 8. Harvin's 7th reception. Vikings on the move, trailing the Bears by 4. Good to see Christian Ponder back out on the Vikings sideline.
Yeah, but not moving around very well. It still looks like he's in quite a bit of pain with that injured hip.
Joe Webb moving well.
Joe Webb moving very well.
And throwing well, now 7 of 8. New set of downs for the Vikings. 2 minutes remaining, second quarter. Off the fake to Gerhardt. Webb throws it away. Again, it was Idonije with the pressure.
I'll take you back and show you that play that got him down here in the red zone. Keep your eyes on Percy Harvin in the backfield here right now. You're going to run a play fake to him, and he gets dropped in coverage. You know, Nick Roach realized, but it's a little bit too late. That's a real nice play design by Bill Musgrave, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings.
I'll tell you what, that play action also sucked all those linebackers right up for Chicago to help Percy out.
You tend to lose that guy you do the play action fake to if all of a sudden he gets down the middle of the field.
Now second and 10. From the 17, off the fake to Gerhardt. Webb throws. And it is Aromashadu, but he is ruled out of bounds.
Good play by the Bears. Major right. Drives Devin Aromashadu out of bounds. Not enough time to get that back leg down. First one's down, but he wasn't able to get the second one.
Aromashadu with 2 big receptions earlier in this drive, and now a timeout is taken by the Vikings, their first. With a minute 46 remaining in this first half, time for a preview of the Visa Halftime Report. Here's Kurt.
Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, we'll have scores and highlights from a busy New Year's Day in the NFL. A lot of games that really set the table for the playoffs, including New England trying to wrap up the top seed in the AFC, and the Jets trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's all on the Visa Halftime.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. We saw Michael Strahan leaning back in his chair. You think he's a bit nervous? Jared Allen just 2.5 sacks away from tying Michael's NFL record.
I don't think he looked nervous at all. He looked very relaxed.
I think he looked very confident.
Jared Allen told us the other day Strahan has not texted me yet this week. That means he might be nervous. Jared Allen with Chris Dolman's franchise record in his sights, just 1 sack away from tying Dolman's 21 sacks back in the 1989 season. 3rd down and 10 as Webb takes off, and Webb is tackled by Lance Briggs, shy of the marker, about a yard shy. So it is now 4th down and 1. Leslie Frazier with a decision to make.
Going to call a timeout and think about it.
I don't know, with Joe Webb back there, I'll tell you, looks pretty inviting to go and try and go for it on this situation.
Taking time off the clock, wants to leave the Bears as little time as possible. So with the play clock at 1, Frazier calls timeout.
Go back and take a look at the key plays here in the first half. Back shoulder throw on Toby Gerhardt. Get the interception return for a touchdown by Charles Tillman. And there's the big hit by Israel Adonijah on Christian Ponder, knocked him out of the game. Julius Peppers, great timing to block that field goal by Ryan Longwell.
Who is back out on the field. He hit a 26-yard field goal earlier, then had that 48-yard attempt blocked by Peppers. So Leslie Frazier sent out the field goal unit, but now Joe Webb heading back onto the field. There are about 17 Vikings on the field.
They can't decide what they want to do.
And now Webb and some of the offensive players head back to the sidelines. So it's a 26-yard attempt from the right hash. Longwell hit from 26 earlier. He is now 2 for 3. So the Vikings pull to within 1. Neither of these teams will be heading to the postseason, although they both reached the NFC Championship game over the last 2 years. Green Bay, home field advantage. San Francisco and New Orleans battling for the number 2 seed and the first round bye. Detroit and Atlanta are the wild cards. They could flip-flop depending on today's results, and the Giants and Cowboys will play for the NFC East title. The loser will go home.
And right now, New Orleans and San Francisco both winning. So if that stays that way, San Francisco secures the number 2 spot. New Orleans becomes the number 3 seed, and that's a tough duty for whoever finishes number 6, whether it is Atlanta or Detroit, however that plays out with the 5th and 6th seed. If you have to start wild card weekend against Drew Brees down in New Orleans, that is a tough, tough duty.
The 5 seed in the NFC will hit the road to either Dallas or East Rutherford, New Jersey. The NFC East winner will lock up the number 4 spot and host the 5 seed in a wild card game next weekend. 1-point lead for Chicago. Armando Allen on the return for the Bears, and he runs right into the arms of Eric Frampton at the 13-yard line.
This is as good a job as I've seen a team do against Devin Hester in the first half of the game. Now it's going to be a 60-minute battle here. That was Armando Allen on that one.
But they did a terrific job on Hester earlier. Hester now out on offense, 52 seconds on the clock. And 2 timeouts remaining for Chicago. There's Jared Allen, has a sack and a half in the first half. Now with 20 on the season. From the 14-yard line. Allen trying to get to McCown. And McCown will gain a yard. Down to the 15. And we mentioned,
Go ahead, Kenny.
we mentioned, excuse me, Goose Allen, the 8th player to reach 20 sacks. Strahan, Gastineau, Dolman, Reggie White, Lawrence Taylor, Derek Thomas, DeMarcus Ware. Some pretty outstanding company.
Yeah, Jared Allen had a little bit of a stunt there, and he tried to come up underneath. If he would have stayed outside, he might have had another sack on that play. Keep your eye on him. He's at the bottom of the screen.
Second down and 9 as Allen tries to spin to the inside. McCown's pass is caught by Khalil Bell. As McCown gets back onto his feet, time winding down in this first half. There is Chris Dolman, the 8-time Pro Bowler, watching as Jared Allen has pulled to within 1 of his franchise record. A sack and a half so far. Dolman 21 and 89, Allen 20 so far this season. Bears lead the Vikings 14-13 at the half. We'll return to Minneapolis after these messages.
I gotta get 2.5 at least. So I'll take them one at a time though.
Well, Jared Allen already with a sack and a half today. He has 20 on the season, 1 shy of the franchise record. And as you heard from Jared, 2.5 shy of Michael Strahan. And Darryl, we heard from Michael at halftime. He said, yes, I am watching the Vikings and the Bears.
Well, it'll be one of the great stories to follow through the course of this second half here. And it's amazing to watch. You come in and he's geared up for it. And he didn't pull any punches with us. He said, listen, I'm going after the record. And as you heard him, he knows exactly what he has to accomplish. And there'll be a progression through the course of the afternoon. First, he's got to get Chris Dolman's franchise record here for the Minnesota Vikings. And then he'll move on to Michael Strahan.
Follow your favorite team all season long. Go to itunes.com/NFL.
Well, I talked to Jared Allen going into the tunnel and told him, man, you were close on that one. He goes, dude, I should have had 2 more. He goes, but I'm going to get it in this second half. I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to dip my shoulder. He goes, I think I can get the edge on him right now. So he's excited, man. He's ready to go and get this record.
We could sense how excited he was when we met with him on Friday. Jared Allen, the only Viking who will be headed to the Pro Bowl. It will be his 4th. 8th player in league history. 6 sacks became an official statistic to reach 20.
There's the other side of the story. Jamarcus Webb, who's in charge of not allowing him to break that record. But that's the impressive thing. When you see somebody like Jared Allen have a season like he's having, and Jason Babin and DeMarcus Ware, offensive coordinators, when you look at the game film and you're designing your game plan for that week, I mean, you do things to account for guys like that. Hey, we've got to make sure we have Jared Allen blocked, and for him to have the numbers that he's had this season, he's just one of those great years where everything seems to be going your way. And he feels like he missed a couple in the first half, Tony, but he told us he thinks he missed about 4 during the course of the year that should have been easy ones as well.
Well, you never know when it's going to come up. You have a game on, or you don't think it's going to be a pass, and all of a sudden you fall into them, and they're the ones you have to go and capitalize on. They get 20 in a season, and that's just amazing to me.
Allen and the Vikings defense head onto the field. There's DeMarcus Webb, the Bears left tackle. Allen's career best 4.5 sacks in a game. Did it against Green Bay 2 seasons ago. Michael Strahan, the NFL record, with some help from Brett Favre. And Chris Dolman with the Vikings record.
That might have been a tackle for a loss, Kenny. I don't know if that was
we
last
are
one was officially
referring
a sack.
to Strahan's final sack in 2001. How about Jared Allen this week? He said, if Josh McCown wants to pull a Favre, I'll take it. Brett, of course, Jared's teammate here in Minnesota the last 2 years. We begin the second half.
There he goes.
McCown down on the first play. As Jared Allen ties Chris Dolman's franchise record with 21 sacks in a season.
Hey, Goose, what do you take when you do this? A guy that scores a big touchdown during his career gets to keep the football. What happens when you sack the quarterback for the franchise record? You stick a little piece of his jersey? Or
you take his helmet at the end of the game. You go right up to him and say, give me the helmet.
2.5 sacks today. 21 on the season for Jared Allen. The bounce pass deflects away from Roy Williams.
Josh McCown slow getting up. He took a big hit.
Let's take a look at Jared Allen's sack. Watch him out here. Instead of going and taking the corner, he goes with a bull rush and comes right up underneath. McCown can't get away from him. And there's Chris Dolman excited for him. Knows how big to get 21 sacks in a season. I mean, that's a great feat.
Just a sack and a half away from matching Michael Strahan's NFL record. And now the play clock winds all the way down.
Delay. Offense, 5-yard penalty is still third down.
And this crowd is just going to get louder. And let me tell you, this is a loud stadium. And this is going to be difficult for everybody that's going to be going up against Jared Allen when you get into these third and long situations. They know he's on the verge of breaking the franchise record. They know he's in pursuit of the NFL record. He's going to get a lot of help from these Viking fans.
Looks like that play clock is running down to 4 seconds again. Just got that play off.
Bears just able to get the snap away, as you said, Goose, and then McCown hits Khalil Bell. He takes it up to the 20-yard line. Bears will send out the punting unit. So Jared Allen on the first play of the second half with yet another sack. Now has 2.5 today, 21 on the season, tying the franchise record. Marcus Sherrill's back deep for the Vikings. Adam Podlesh punting for the 4th time today. Fair catch call for at the 37-yard line by Sherrill's. Early third quarter as Jared Allen ties the franchise record. Bears lead by 1.
Today's game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By KFC. Bring something different to the party with KFC sauceless hot wings. Now just 50 cents a wing. By Chevrolet and their award-winning cars, trucks, and crossovers. And by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Here we go.
Joe Webb and the Vikings offense go to work from the 36-yard line. Trailing the Bears by 1. As Webb cuts away from Nick Roach. The pass could not be handled by Percy Harvin, who had 7 receptions in the first half moments ago while we were away. Jared Allen and Chris Dolman getting together on the Vikings sideline.
It was one of the things that I was impressed with Jared Allen when he told us, listen, I played this game to gain the respect of my peers and also to gain the respect of the guys who played the game before me. And, you know, one of the things he said he was most proud of as we see him go over to see Chris Dolman was Jack Youngblood called him one time and congratulated him on the season he was having, and you know that meant the world to him. So I was very impressed with Jared Allen and his take on.
How about Toby Gerhart on 2nd and 10 picks up a Vikings first down, a gain of 12.
He's sneaky quick. I mean, we've seen a couple of runs today when Chicago's had him bottled up, and he's got real nice feet. He's got good patience for a runner. But I really like how he gets his shoulders square down the field.
And how he protects the ball also. That ball is tight against his chest. He knows when he's going to get hit, and that ball comes right up in front, which makes it hard for defenders to go and punch that ball out from behind.
Set of downs for the Vikings off the fake to Gerhart. Webb's pass is caught by Harvin, but he's tackled at midfield by Tim Jennings after a gain of just 2.
Looks like they ran that play 3 or 4 times, Darryl. A couple times to the right, now to the left. The defenders are going to go and know that boot is coming.
Well, they have a special package that they use when Joe Webb comes in as a quarterback, as Christian Ponder stands on the sidelines with that hip injury. But you wonder how much of the the actual game plan that he had a chance to work on this week. Did Leslie Frazier just want to see him in the role that he has normally played, or would he like to see him in a more expanded role?
More time was added to the play clock as Webb hands it off to Gerhardt. Hard to bring him down. Gerhardt to the Bears 44. Remember, 2 seasons ago, Gerhardt finished second in Heisman Trophy balloting to Mark Ingram. It was the closest ever between 1 and 2 for the Heisman.
I had a great career at Stanford, and you get to the NFL and you play behind Adrian Peterson. You're trying to find your role for this team, and he's starting to carve that out. But now we see, what type of running back he could be here at the NFL level.
3rd down and 2. Pass was intended for Harvin, deflected, and then Tim Jennings with the interception. It's the second one that bounced away from a Viking. Gerhardt earlier, now Harvin. And for Jennings, it's his second pick of the season.
See if this hits the ground at any point. Pops straight up in the air. Again, Goose, how many times have we seen on both defenses guys hustling to the ball and good things happen?
Yeah, right in the right area at the right time. Gets both feet in. Jennings. This ball does not look like it hit the ground at all. Looks like Harvin had his hands up underneath and just bounced right up off his hands into the air.
Second Vikings turnover. Bears start from the 43-yard line as Bell was met initially by, guess who? Jared Allen.
And not just a pass rush specialist, Jared Allen. These guys today are also very good against the run. That quick move right there inside beats that zone blocking scheme. Edwin Williams not ready, didn't have his shoulder square. That quick inside move, he beats the guard and tackle on that zone blocking and is right into the backfield.
Bennett in motion, 2nd down and 11. And it's Bennett who makes the catch out at midfield. 8 of 8 for Earl Bennett. So it will be 3rd down and 3 for Josh McCown and the Bears. McCown making his second start. Bears were 7 and 3. With Jay Cutler, he suffered the broken thumb in a game against San Diego. Caleb Haney started the next 4. Chicago lost all 4 of those games. There's Caleb. Now McCown. Now the Bears with a 1-point lead. 3rd down and 3. They must get to the Vikings 47. And it is Kevin Williams with his 5th sack of the season, forcing a Chicago Bears punt.
Kevin Williams is going to come from the inside, loop all the way out and around. That's a 3-man game, Tony. Don't usually see those with the speed that the ball comes out today. A lot of times those don't get home.
Brian Robinson does a nice job of collapsing the end of the line of scrimmage and makes it a nice short edge to come around there. That's why he got the sack.
5 sacks, Goose, for the Vikings today. 2.5 by Allen, 2.5 by his teammates, and the Vikings will be pinned deep by Adam Podlesh. Jared Allen has tied the franchise record. Chris Tolman is here. What a day for Allen. While we were away, the officials got together, and it was ruled that number 35 on the Bears, Zachary Bowman, went out of bounds, and that was the first player to touch the ball, so it is ruled an illegal touch inside the 5-yard line.
Part of that is you can elect to have the touchback, so instead of 1st down for the Minnesota Vikings at the 3.5-yard line, they're going to be 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. You got to be aware that when you go out of bounds, you got to let one of your teammates be the first one to touch that ball.
So the Vikings gain about 16.5 yards and will start from the 20, trailing the Bears by 1. With Joe Webb at quarterback, and Christian Ponder, and a false start. Fourth Vikings penalty today.
Sante Shanko in the backfield. he jumped offside and tried to make believe like it was a shift. Hey, it was a good sell, but not good enough.
What you do there, and I've done this a couple times, Goose, is when you jump, you go in motion and come back inside.
Yeah, something.
Yeah, you got to sell him on that.
He just stood there.
So the Vikings force back 5 yards. Now 1st and 15 as Harvin takes the handoff from Webb, and Israel Adonijah has had a strong game. First Bear in on the tackle.
He has really played well this afternoon. Done a great job with his responsibility as the defensive end. Seen a number of plays where he's been the outside contain, and just on these bootlegs and these end around type plays has just played it so well that there's been nothing there for the Minnesota Vikings.
Five tackles and a sack today for Idonije.
And he's the one that had the hit that knocked Christian Ponder out of the game.
Webb on 2nd and 13 with time. He throws and it's caught. Taken out to the 27-yard line by Aroma Shadu. Lance Briggs.
Holding offense number 65. Half the distance to the goal. Still second down.
It's coming back to center John Sullivan, the guilty Viking.
You're right, Kenny. They are going to get all the way back to where they were before that illegal touch penalty. Keep your eyes on the center.
Grabs hold of Amobi Okoye.
I don't know, Dallas. Most of the time, I'm going to go with a defensive guy, but it didn't look like much of hold to me.
I've seen worse.
Yeah, I've seen a lot worse. His hands were inside. I thought he did a pretty good job of it.
The ball now back at the 9. 2nd down and 21. Gerhardt. Nothing.
I think you made a good point in that first half, Tony. We are seeing kind of the same plays recycled over and over again.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? That secondary for the Bears, and I think on both sides of the ball, both sides are really going and not really playing any of the deep balls. Everything is real shallow, so the secondary's up, and that's why I see when we get those tip balls or the balls that are bounced up in the air like we saw off of Percy Harvin, we're going to get interceptions instead of just incomplete passes.
Nice catch by Harvin, but he's 4 yards shy of the marker. Needed 21, gained 17, so the Vikings will send out the punting unit.
Percy Harvin working out of the backfield. Good release right there to get inside. And a good catch. Good touch by Joe Webb over the defender, DJ Moore.
Harvin now with 8 receptions, 92 yards. Louis' punt angled towards the sideline. Hester will stay in bounds at the 24. Looks to turn it upfield. And it's tackled. Ball came loose. And it's recovered by Nick Roach of Chicago. Midway through the 3rd quarter here in Minneapolis. Jared Allen already with 2.5 sacks today has tied the franchise record. Michael Strahan getting a bit nervous. Welcome back. Bears lead the Vikings 14-13. Jared Allen now 21 sacks this season for the Vikings. Josh McCown of the Bears start from their own 25-yard line. Pump fake, now McCown moving to his right. He throws, and the catch is made by Roy Williams. McCown just able to get rid of the football as Allen is about a half second away from sack number 22.
Got to thank his guys in the secondary and the linebacker level on that one. Good coverage. Made Josh McCown hold that ball longer than he wanted.
Gain of 6. 2nd down and 4. Inside handoff to Armando Allen, who picks up the first down. Leonard Smith impressed with Allen last week in Green Bay as the scat back. 2 on the depth chart behind Khalil Bell in the absence of both Forte and Barber. Get coverage of every NFL game on NFL Mobile. Call ** NFL Now.
But you wonder what's going to happen in the offseason with Marion Barber. He's had that calf injury that's kept him out the last couple, and Khalil Bell and Armando Allen have taken advantage of that opportunity. And as you pointed out, Lovie Smith very impressed by both of the guys as
12 on the previous play. This time he loses yardage. Loss of 3 on the play. With 6 minutes remaining, third quarter. There's Marion Barber, and you think back to that Denver game. Bears would have had a great opportunity to run out the clock. Barber goes out of bounds with 1:55 remaining, part of this 5-game losing streak without Jay Cutler.
The previous week against Kansas City, the illegal formation penalty on the touchdown that he caught, it was called back in the 10-3 loss to Kansas City. So a couple of big mistakes by Marion Barber during his time filling in for Matt Forte.
Second down at 13. Brown steps up and throws. Hester was wide open, but the pass deflects off his hand. So 3rd and 13 upcoming.
Yeah, we started this game and we talked about the poise of Josh McCown in the pocket. Well, it's slowly evaporating because of the pressure that Jared Allen and this Vikings defensive line is putting on. And it has an impact on that throw right there as it's on the back shoulder of Devin Hester. He's starting to feel a little bit uncomfortable back there.
Third down and 13. Great jump by Allen. Here he comes. He's got him. Sack number 22.
Oh, you gotta love it. Jared Allen just never stops working. Always coming at the quarterback. He's a throwback guy. This stadium is going crazy right now for this guy.
That's great on Chris Dolman's part, too. Everybody that sets records know that somebody's going to come along someday and beat it. It's great that Chris Dolman is here today.
I don't know if Michael Strahan was nervous earlier, but he's a little nervous right now. I can guarantee that.
3.5 sacks today for Jared Allen. Fair catch at the 20 by Sherrills. He now has 22 on the season. It's a new franchise record, just a half sack shy of our Michael Strahan. Man of the hour here in Minneapolis, Jared Allen, now with 3.5 sacks today. He has broken the franchise record, and he is closing in on Michael Strahan's NFL record of 22.5 back in 2001. Vikings go back on offense, trailing by a point. Toby Gerhart, another big run as he picks up a Vikings first down. Gain of 12, but Gerhart remains down.
They got a helmet right in the thigh, it looked like. He's got the thigh pads on, though, Darryl. That's a good sign.
Yeah, I don't see guys wearing them very often anymore today. Did he get it in the thigh, Goose, or did he get it right in the stomach?
Let's take a look right here. Does a nice job of leaning over.
I think you're right. I think he got it right in the thigh, huh?
Major right with the hit on Toby Gerhart. And we'll take a break. Late third quarter in Minneapolis. Vikings medical staff working on Toby Gerhart, who has 67 yards on the ground today. He's replaced by Lorenzo Booker. Webb chased by Idonije. Stays on his feet. And now Chauncey Davis had a crack at him, and then Webb throws it out of bounds.
And he's slippery, huh, Darryl? I mean, they can't wrap him up and get him down on the ground.
He's got tremendous balance. I mean, how many times have we seen him get away from these guys? There's Israel Idonije again, just playing it perfect. They got him hemmed in. I mean, these are some big guys that grab a hold of him, and he's just, they can't move him off the spot. And, you know, smart, knowing the rules of the game at your position.
Chauncey Davis had him wrapped up around his hips. You just got to keep moving your feet and get him wrapped up and lock your hands together, because he can get away from any kind of lockup, it looks like.
Now Webb calls timeout at the play clock at 3. It's over for a chat with Leslie Frazier with 4:12 remaining in the third quarter in Minneapolis. Bears leading by 1. Jared Allen with new franchise record 22 sacks this season.
He's getting a tremendous jump right now, Goose. The crowd is helping him out, and you make the good point. You know, the Bears are not offering Jamarcus Webb much help at all.
And nothing. No chip on the outside. Not even lining a tight end up out there. You know, Jared Allen's doing a good job with his games of coming back inside. And I'll tell you what, the other defensive linemen are doing a nice job of pushing the pocket also, so there's nowhere for anyone to go. That's why he's getting those sacks. There's Jamarcus Webb right there wondering, how do I stop this guy, man?
A lot of tackles around the league are wondering the same thing, Deuce.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, you know, Jared Allen's got a motor that just doesn't stop. Everyone's excited in this whole stadium to see when they're back on defense.
On 2nd and 10, the end around does not fool Chauncey Davis as Harvin is brought down back at the 23 for a loss of 9.
It has been tough for this Minnesota Viking offense because we continue to see some of these same plays, and you're not going to fool this Chicago Bears defense. They're very well coached in their responsibilities, their gaps, who has contained. Rod Marinelli does a great job with the guys up front and the linebacker level, making sure they've got all those gaps covered.
3rd down and 19. Here comes Davis. Webb spins away. And then he throws, and the catch is made by Booker. He was about to be sacked at the 1-yard line, and Lorenzo Booker takes it out to the 34, about 8 yards shy of the marker, but Webb stays on his feet, and that play gains about 33 yards for the Vikings prior to the punt.
This is just amazing. I mean, you think the play is gone. I mean, nothing good can happen at this point right here, but Joe Webb makes something positive out of it. Lorenzo Booker with a nice catch and run. Last time I saw him play like Goose, I was in the backyard with a couple of guys back when I was 10 years old.
And he drew it up in the dirt, right?
Punt is fielded at the 22 by Devin Hester. Only 3 on the return. Now, we usually talk about the offense coming back out onto the field, but instead it's Jared Allen of the Vikings defense coming back out.
He started off with a half sack, but then he started just doing everything on his own. And he's going through guys, he's going around guys with his speed. As Tony said, he is relentless, but when you have somebody that has that much athleticism coming off the edge, but has the ability to drop and use power to push you back, it is a tough combination to deal with. Jamarcus Webb has got to match his intensity. He's got to understand.
Well, they don't put, on this, for watch this, Darryl, they don't put 1 tight end. They're putting 2 tight ends to slow Jared Allen down.
Michael Strahan called Mike Marks in the booth.
They have Kellen Davis and Matt Spaeth blocking Allen as the pass is caught out of the 32-yard line by Khalil Bell.
Jared Allen lines up, and there's Mike Martz, and he's just saying, hey, listen, we got to slow this guy down. And how do we do it? And here he is. That's 1 tight end. That's 2 tight ends. We are not looking. 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. Everybody stop Jared Allen. It's unbelievable. He might have to line up a tackle now. He isn't stopping him. Oh, he's one-on-one right here in this situation, guys.
No tight ends this time. 2nd down and 5, and McCown hands it off to Bell. And Bell is close to a Bears first down. He might just hand off the rest of this game.
Yeah, that might be not too bad of an idea. Tell you what, he's getting some penetration. I don't know, Kenny. He might get to the quarterback before he hands the ball off the way he's been playing.
Could be. There's Mike Tice, the former tight end, assistant coach and head coach here in Minnesota. In fact, we were talking to Josh McCown yesterday. The only time McCown started against the Vikings was with Arizona back in 2003. He threw a last-second touchdown for the Cardinals to Nate Poole, and that kept Mike Tice and the Vikings out of the playoffs.
Yeah, he didn't talk to Josh for the first 4 or 5 days when he came to Chicago.
Josh says he still hasn't talked to him. He doesn't want to go near him.
Third down and inches for the Bears. McCown on the sneak.
know, we saw Michael Strahan earlier in the set back there in L.A. with his feet up. You think he's got his feet up now, guys? You think he's sitting on the end of his chair?
Tell you, Goose, he's the one that called Coach Martz in the booth up here. Told him to get the two tight ends out there, start running the ball a little bit.
Down back to throw on first down. Pass is caught by Bell. And Bell takes it out to the 43-yard line. Under a minute remaining, third quarter, gain of 6 for Khalil Bell, with the Bears leading by a point. Chicago scoring there 2 touchdowns in a span of 42 seconds back in the second quarter.
We're getting focused in on Jared Allen right now, Tony, but I tell you that the whole defensive line for Minnesota, you pointed out, they're all kind of pitching and helping, but the Troy Guion and Brian Robinson, I mean, they're all, relentless in getting to the football right now.
6 sacks today for the Vikings. Pound with time, throws, and it's Hester who makes the catch. In Vikings territory, gain of 14 and a Bears first down. Third quarter comes to an end here in Minneapolis, with the Bears leading by 1. Fox NFL Sunday will return in a moment. The season upcoming for the Bears and the Vikings, a season that held such promise for Chicago after reaching the NFC Championship game a year ago.
And then in Week 10, sitting at 7-3, and really one of those teams under the radar.
Bears lead this game by a point. The count on first down, looking. Now fires downfield for Roy Williams. No flags. Raymond on the coverage.
No, I had my eye on Jared Allen. I mean, take a look at him. You know, he doesn't rush from the outside. He slides all the way down, comes around all the way from the left-hand side, and almost gets McCown's arm right there. Tell you what, he is trying anything to go and get this sack. That's a motor, huh, Bruce?
Yeah.
He doesn't stop.
It's getting better as the game wears on.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
3.5 sacks today. Khalil Bell. Take you back to 2001. New York Giants and Green Bay Packers. 2001 season, January 6th of 2002. That is the record-breaking sack.
Michael Strahan just struck fear into the heart of Brett Favre there. He knew he had nothing to do but go down to the ground.
I mean, I know Michael can make some ugly faces, but man, that one was terrifying.
Third down and 10. Bears do a good job on Allen as McCown finds his man Roy Williams. There is a flag. Asher Allen made the tackle. Williams gained 14.
Holding. Defense number 21 is declined. Play results in the first down.
Well, Asher Allen asked what, so he got from Mike Carey.
And when he asked, did he sound at all like his cousin, your former teammate Michael Irvin?
Yeah, he actually did.
High pitch, you mean?
Yeah, exactly.
What? So Asher Allen the penalty. Jared Allen a break on the sidelines. First and 10 from the Vikings 29. As McCown is looking for Roy Williams once again. Another flag.
They got holding on the Bears.
Holding. Offense number 60. 10-yard penalty, still first.
Right tackle Lance Lewis.
Lance Lewis, number 60, working against Brian Robinson.
At first and 20 right here.
Jared Allen on the sidelines.
I'll take a little bit of a rest, try and come in. Hopefully they can keep him back here.
Number 39. McCown had the ball knocked free. And then he falls on it. Back at the 48-yard line after the hit by Robinson.
This is one of the things that happens to an offensive line, and in their protection, you get focused in and you're concerned about one guy, and the other guys all of a sudden they get the one-on-one matchups. When you have somebody like a Jared Allen who's in your group, you're going to draw a lot of one-on-ones. They've got pass rushers across that board, so when he does go off to the side to catch his breath, this Minnesota front, Carl Dunbar, their defensive line coach, done a great job with his group.
Robinson credited with the sack, the 7th for the Vikings today. Jared Allen back in. 2nd down and 28. McCown to the outside to Earl Bennett. Asher Allen brings him down. Gain of 15.
Tell you what, this Vikings defensive backfield is really attacking the ball. You know, Bennett makes the catch, but they're all trying to rip that ball out and get that turnover. It's like the Bears used to do, right there. That's how they used to go attack the ball.
Hey, Minnesota is good at it as well. And Leslie Frazier, you know, defensive background as the head coach. It's definitely going to be something that's preached.
Member of the 85 Super Bowl champion Bears. We're down at 13. McCown to Williams for a Bears first down. Roy Williams takes it down to the 15-yard line. 17-yard pass play.
You know, at the top of the broadcast, Tony, we talked about, you know, one of the things Chicago has to find out, you know, is Josh McCown going to be their backup moving forward? And I tell you, watching him against Green Bay last week and then watching him here today, you know, he really has earned a shot for that. I mean, I think he's played well. When you talk about somebody coming in during the course of the season, getting up to speed quickly, and then coming out and playing well.
On the 15-yard line, McCown hands it off to Khalil Bell. And initially by Cedric Griffin. Gain of 1.
You see right there the stats just on this drive right here. And remember, he's under pressure constantly. I've been very, very impressed with his poise in the pocket. Giving his defense a chance to catch their breath on the sideline.
Three receivers set. Sondenbacher in the slot. 2nd down and 9.
Take a look at Jared Allen right there. Left him one-on-one. He had an opportunity on that one. A lot of push up the middle. Right there for Fred Evans.
Told us he did not expect too many one-on-one matchups today, Goose.
He's getting them, though.
Third down and 9. 14th play of the drive for the Bears. McCown's pass is caught by Sondenbacher at the Vikings 9-yard line, but not enough. About 3 yards shy of a first down. So after 15 plays, the Bears will send out the field goal unit. Did Sondenbacher get that second foot in?
Yep.
Yeah,
So he
got
did.
Wow.
The one thing that he has to do, though, he has to be aware of where he's at on that field in that third down situation. At least give yourself an opportunity to catch and turn and try and move upfield to get that first down.
So here's Robbie Gould, 27-yard attempt on the right hash. Bondos places it down, and Gould extends the Bears' lead to 4.
Game is sponsored by the BK Toppers Burgers. More beef, more value. Only $1.99 now at Burger King. By Windows 7, it's a great time to be a family. And by Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close. Now playing in select theaters everywhere January 20th.
Back in Minneapolis, with the Bears extending to a 4-point lead, a season-high 15-play drive for Chicago. And down 7 of 9 on the drive. Gold's kickoff sails through the end zone. Vikings will start from their own 20 with 10:19 remaining. Here in Minneapolis in the regular season finale. Early fourth quarter on New Year's Day in Minneapolis, with the Bears leading the Vikings by 4. Joe Webb and the Vikings back to work from their own 20-yard line. Webb going deep, and he overthrows Devin Aroma-Shadu.
A little bit of incidental contact right there, slowed up Devin Aroma-Shadu, but that was a well-thrown ball by Joe Webb.
In case you joined us late, Webb in the game because starting quarterback Christian Ponder suffered a hip injury earlier. As we take one more look.
Working on the outside, you see that little stumble right there. That one might have been right in stride.
And the Vikings also lost Toby Gerhart in this second half to a knee injury. His return is doubtful. He is on the Vikings bench. Second down and 10. And Percy Harvin able to make a diving catch for a Vikings first down, a 23-yard pass play. Welcome to those of you who have just joined us. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Tony Siragusa in Minneapolis. Chicago Bears leading the Minnesota Vikings 17-13. There is Jared Allen, who has 3.5 sacks today. He has already broken Chris Dolman's franchise record of 21. And he is just 1/2 sack shy of matching Michael Strahan's NFL record set back in the 2001 season. Allen now with 22 this year.
And they're starting to give some help to Jamarcus Webb, the offensive tackle over there. Last time we've seen some multiple tight ends and some backs chipping and offensive guards turning out. Jamarcus Webb has been left one-on-one quite a bit today.
Down to 10, Webb out of the shotgun, fakes the handoff to Booker. Brian Urlacher. Nice tackle on the rookie tight end, Kyle Rudolph.
And again, it's Israel Adonijah, just plays it perfect. You know, your responsibility as the defensive end is contained on the outside. He doesn't bite the little read-keep look there. He forces Joe Webb into that decision, throws it quick, and then the pursuit from the inside out by Brian Urlacher.
And Brian Urlacher's closing speed is just crazy. I'll tell you, playing with linebackers and seeing guys going and having opportunities, his shoulders are always square, and he just explodes on contact.
Urlacher with 10 tackles today, Goose. Third down and 9. Brent Stelz with the pressure on Webb. He throws, and it's Aroma-Shadu who makes the catch. After Webb was nearly sacked by Stelz, he hits Aroma-Shadu for a 15-yard pickup.
And then for those of you who just joined us and thought that that was an impressive play, that's probably number 3 that we've seen from Joe Webb today. He's extended plays and done some things athletically that are extremely impressive. I mean, the awareness right there to keep that ball out of the hands of Craig Stelz and then be able to step up and deliver that throw.
Christian Ponder started the game for the Vikings, suffered a hip injury in the first half. As Webb hands it off, Booker tries to bounce it to the outside, but Tim Jennings had other ideas.
Again, understanding what your responsibility is on this play. Tim Jennings does a great job. He's the outside contain. He doesn't come to the inside to try and help out his teammate. Stays on the outside where his responsibility is.
Percy Harvin shaken up on the previous play.
Looks like he might be cramping up,
Yeah,
so trying to stretch that calf.
Saucer back in the game. He will retire following this game. 13th year with the Vikings. 2nd and 13. And that pass bounces away from Aroma-Shadu with 7:02 remaining in what could be, as we take another look at it, what could be the Vikings' last game in this dome after 30 years. Their lease expires following this game.
It's been a great run here. You know, over 90 million people have come through. We had a Super Bowl here, a couple of World Series, Final Four. It's the smallest footprint of all the stadiums in the league, though, and you know they've been trying to get this done for a number of years now. It sounds like they finally got everybody on board. The governor here, Mark Dayton, is on board. The NFL, the Vikings organization, the Will family, willing to commit $425 million of their own money to help get a new stadium built.
Yeah, I think it's time. I think it's time for Minnesota to go and build a new facility here, and you know, something a little bit bigger. these guys can be proud of. Obviously, they changed the dome after the collapse last year, but it is a small dome. And walking around it, it's a little tight. They could use something a little bit better here.
There's Ziggy Wilf. And as you mentioned, the Wilf family has pledged $425 million towards the potential new stadium project. Bluey punted from his own 45-yard line. Lester will let it go. And terrific placement by Chris Bluey, pinning the Bears back at their own 6-yard line. 6:48 remaining here in Minneapolis.
This game is sponsored by the Ford F-150, the only truck available with EcoBoost.
Back in Minneapolis with the Bears leading the Vikings by 4. Jared Allen back on the field. He has 3.5 sacks today. On first down, the handoff to Khalil Bell. So Allen now with 22. Michael Strahan in our studio in Los Angeles, 22.5 sacks back in 2001. Michael, I know you're keeping a close eye on this game. How are you feeling right now?
I feel good. You know what? Of all the guys out there, Jared Allen's one of the guys who loves to play. You can tell he has enthusiasm for the game. He's had an incredible season on a team that hasn't had a great season. So it makes it even harder to break this record. And I think he's going to do it. He has plenty of time, and he's relentless. And that's the fun thing about watching him play.
All right. We'll hopefully chat with you a little bit later on, Michael, on second down. Here's McCown from the end zone, and the pass is picked off by Cedric Griffin. Now, the question is, was Griffin ruled down at the 20-yard line, and it looks like he was.
Yeah, they have the officials over there. See what Mike Carey says.
Holding under this passing team number 32 with decline. Interception, first down.
So Griffin with the pick. It is the third Bears turnover.
They have been very aggressive. Tony, you mentioned this earlier in the game, and this is a group that's really struggled to take the ball away, especially with the interceptions this season. But very aggressive today. Cedric Wilson, nice job in coverage against Matt Spaeth. You got corner against tight end. I think Josh McCown would have liked to have that ball back, get that up in the air a little bit. Matt Spaeth has got the matchup when you talk about size. If you get that ball elevated enough, he can go up and catch that.
First interception for Griffin this season, only the 8th by the Vikings. I mentioned earlier they went 9 games without a pick until last week. From the 20 on first down. Webb fires. And Romichadu, the intended receiver. So second and 10 coming up with 6 minutes remaining here in Minneapolis, and the Vikings, who led 10-0, trailing by 4.
I'm really surprised he threw that ball. It looked like they were going with cover 2, and all of a sudden the safety shifted, and they went a single high safety, and that's right where the safety's going to be where he threw that ball. He's throwing that one right there.
Second down and 10. Webb wrapped up. Hard to bring him down. Finally, down he goes. Julius Peppers with the initial pressure on Joe Webb.
I can't imagine the strength that Joe Webb has. I mean, we've seen so many times today when he's been in the grasp and he's been able to break free. I mean, this is Julius Peppers who comes in and hits him here. He's almost going to get away from this one. I mean, his balance and his strength.
Even the officials, they don't blow the whistle. Usually, any other quarterback in the NFL, you'll see when he's in that position right there, the whistle blows. But it wasn't, because they know that he has the opportunity to escape because he is so strong.
So a half sack for Peppers. He now has 99.5 career sacks. Half sack for Matt Toina. Webb to the end zone. Marvin, the intended receiver, and a collision between Urlacher and Major Wright.
Oh, that did not look good. Oh, I hope it's...
Urlacher told to remain down. That's Tim Bream, the Bears medical trainer.
He's got the middle of the field in this coverage, but you're going to see Major Wright come in from the backside. He's going to land on top. Brian's going to go down very awkwardly. You see that left leg. We just talked about it. He got voted into the Pro Bowl again this year. Actually talked about being able to go, was excited to go to Hawaii and play in it. And that's just hate to see that.
5:15 remaining, fourth quarter.
Brian Urlacher is walking off the field, but we still think it's probably a substantial injury. That's just a guy being tough and wanting to be able to go off the field on his own 2 feet.
Longwell out to attempt a 41-yard field goal. Vikings unable to get the kick away.
Well, we've complimented Minnesota special teams during the course of the day in their coverage, but they have not been very good in their field goal. Julius Peppers with a block earlier. And here a high snap, can't get the ball down. Look at him, still watching the game, limping off. I tell you what, that guy is one of the most competitive people you'll ever meet.
Team guy,
yeah.
Big team guy.
Urlacher, as you mentioned, voted into his 8th career Pro Bowl. What a career it has been.
I just wish he would sit down.
Still has his helmet on.
I think he wants to try and get back in this game.
And the Bears go to work following the botch snap. With a 4-point lead, 5 minutes remaining. And Jared Allen still needing a half sack to tie Michael Strahan's NFL record.
And there's Brian Urlacher with helmet on. Warrior right there. Icing up his knee. He's going to go in. Got 10 tackles, as you see on the day. Hopefully he's okay.
Second down and 9. 4-point lead for the Bears. From the 30, Khalil Bell. Down to the 32-yard line, gain of 2. Aaron Henderson made the tackle as time winds down on this 2011 season for both the Bears and the Vikings. Bears started the season 7-3. They've lost their last 5. Vikings at 3-12, beat Washington last week. Smith told us yesterday we'd love to start the new year with a victory, start the year off right. And he also said there's a big difference between finishing 8-8 and 7-9.
Yeah, a losing record or 500. Mentally, a huge difference.
We're down at 7, and Bell picks up a first down. And that will keep Jared Allen and the Vikings defense on the field.
Khalil Bell, very physical runner, had that 1 turnover early in the game on the fumble. But other than that, he's a tough guy. Even Lovie Smith talked about him last week, late in that game against the Packers. While they're behind, he's still pushing the pile, fighting for extra yardage.
Timeout taken by the Vikings. They have 1 remaining.
Mike Martz trying to burn this clock out, not allow the Minnesota Vikings to get another chance to get on the field with their offense. But Jared Allen came in with 18 and a half, started off the day with a half a sack, and then he started taking over. He's gotten stronger and stronger as the game has gone on. A half a sack in the first quarter, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. But he's been shut out here in the fourth as he's 1 sack away from setting a new NFL sack record, beating Michael Strahan's mark.
3:40 remaining, fourth quarter. From the 44-yard line, the handoff to Bell. Khalil Bell loses a yard. Vikings use their final timeout.
Been a tough couple weeks here in the NFC North, Bruce. You lose Adrian Peterson last week to the ACL, and Brian Urlacher this weekend to what looked like a pretty severe knee injury, even though he was walking off the field.
Yeah, I hope that he's all right. I mean, That would be a huge blow to the Bears if he had, something happen substantially and they missed him next season. Say with injuries has really plagued that Chicago Bears team. Beginning of the season, we thought that they were going to be contenders. We were going to have a showdown between them and maybe Green Bay. And second half of the season, they really just deteriorated.
Now second down and 11. There's Bell once again. Looks to turn the corner. And is tackled by Greenway after a gain of 5. Vikings out of timeouts, trailing by 4. Third down and 6 for Chicago.
They ran on their last third down situation. See what Mike Martz dials up this time.
Again, they keep it on the ground with Bell, and he's tackled 3 yards shy of a first. So the Vikings will get the ball back.
We talk about Jared Allen as a pass rusher, but he's a complete defensive lineman working down the line of scrimmage right there, squeezing that in.
Bears not giving Allen the opportunity for a sack on this possession. 6 plays, 6 runs.
All to keep that clock moving. You don't want to take the chance on the incomplete pass to stop the clock. Just trying to take as much time off it as they possibly can before they get it back to Minnesota. They've been close on a couple punts this afternoon with their pressure up the middle too.
Offense, 5-yard penalty and still 4th.
Bears let the clock run all the way down, take a delay of game penalty. Leading back at his 33. Marcus Sherrills back deep for the Vikings. End-over-end kick. Sherrills lets it bounce. And it takes a Bears roll all the way down inside the 6 as we hit the 2-minute warning in Minneapolis. Bears leading by 4. Minute 51 remaining in Minneapolis. Vikings need a touchdown. So they need to drive 94 yards with no timeouts. Trailing the Bears 17-13. Joe Webb in for the injured Christian Ponder. Now Toby Gerhardt as well. Webb from the end zone, complete to Lorenzo Booker. And Booker with a minute 44 remaining. Able to get out of bounds after gaining 9.
Good effort by Lorenzo Booker. Came back inside to grab a few more yards, but was able to get back out to the sideline, stop that clock.
Christian Ponder started his 10th consecutive game, but suffered a hip injury in the first half, replaced by Webb, who's gone 13 of 25. Another completion to Booker. He will not be able to get out of bounds. He was ruled down before the ball came loose. Booker picks up a first with a minute 30 on the clock, gain of 13.
That's played very well by Tim Jennings, who's out there on the flat area in his zone. And as he comes up to make the tackle, plays it from outside in, forces Lorenzo Booker back into the field of play to keep that clock moving.
Webb on first down, complete to Rudolph. Rudolph out of bounds with a minute 12, gain of 9.
Well, they wanted to take a look at Joe Webb at quarterback today, but this is not what they had in mind. Christian Ponder hurt his hip early in the game, and Joe Webb has come in. Now, he's led the Vikings back from 17 to almost knock off Detroit a couple of weeks ago. Came in for Christian Ponder last week against the Redskins when Christian got knocked out with concussion, led them to a victory on the road. So they wanted to see some snaps with him at quarterback, but He's forced into a lot more than they expected today.
Reds throw sails out of bounds. Of course, Brian Urlacher not on the field for the Bears on defense. Suffered an injury earlier in this fourth quarter.
And here was Christian Ponder earlier on the hit by Israel Adonijah, right on the hip. And he's gone to the sideline. He is still on the sideline with his team.
Down to 1:07, 3rd down and 1. To do the intended receiver. Tillman on the coverage.
Charles Tillman working on the outside. Eyes back on the quarterback. Making his first Pro Bowl appearance this year.
It's on a 3rd and 1. You see a play like that, I thought they would try to go and get the first down. Now this is do or die right here, 4th and 1.
Webb on 4th down. It is complete for Greg Camarillo. So the Vikings get a new set of downs under a minute remaining.
They've got a lot of confidence in him, Tony.
Wow. They've already gone 40 yards. They started at their own 6. Need 54 more. Webb to the outside. Percy Harvin, who was shaken up earlier, makes the catch with Craig Stelz all over him, but no gain on the play. Clock stops at 40 seconds.
And because we've had a couple of botched field goals by the Minnesota Vikings, this is obviously a 4-point game. They need the touchdown, but we've had one block by Julius Peppers, and earlier in this 4th quarter, a mishandled snap.
Craig Stelz got a little banged up on that play. Then I would go after him a little bit. It looked like he was limping when he walked back up on the field. There's a safety back there.
Webb with loads of time on 2nd and 10, picked off by DJ Moore. And that will put the exclamation point on a Chicago Bears season-ending victory after losing each of their last 5 games.
Well, you can see Lovie Smith, and you mentioned it earlier, Kenny, you know, the difference just mentally between 7-9 and 8-8, especially for a team that stood at 7-3 in Week 10. And we've seen teams do this in the past. You know, you get something positive right at the end of your season, and you use that as a springboard into the offseason. Detroit had a great finish last year, and they've used that great finish to have a playoff season this year. So Lovie was he was really hoping that his guys come out and play hard, get a victory today, get to 8-8, and have some positive things heading into the offseason.
The Bears do just that. Second game of our Fox doubleheader coming up. Many of you will see the Buccaneers and the Falcons. So after such a promising start, 7-3, Bears go 1-5 down the stretch without Jay Cutler. They finished the season at 8-8. Wesley Frazier's Vikings 3-13. That matches the worst record in franchise history back in 1984. There's Jim Kleinsaucer, played his final NFL game. Jared Allen, 3.5 sacks. New franchise record, falls a half sack shy of Michael Strahan. Now to the studio.